the sight of Göbekli really did send shockwaves through the whole world of early prehistory, because we'd never before known or imagined even that simple hunter-gatherers could produce such spectacular monumental structures. Hidden beneath layers of ancient soil in southeastern Turkey, Leap challenged everything scholars thought they knew about civilization. It's a unique site because it's much older than all the other ones. It's belonging to the 10th and 9th millennium BC. For decades, archaeologist Klaus Schmidt quietly excavated its towering pillars and eerie carvings, piecing together secrets older than the pyramids. But it was only before his death that Schmidt dared to speak openly, hinting at a deeper truth that Göbekli was no mere temple. In private notes and hushed conversations, he confessed it might be proof of something far more unsettling: central planning, lost rituals, and even ancient knowledge of the stars that blurred the line between faith and science. What Schmidt finally admitted would shake the very foundations of history and leave us still searching for answers in stone, the enigma that defied history. It was on a windswept ridge near the Turkish-Syrian border, where the horizon blurs under relentless sun, that the first stones of Besip emerged from obscurity. In the 1960s, a team of American and Turkish surveyors recorded unremarkable flint fragments and a few limestone shapes, but the site's significance lay dormant, hidden by centuries of soil and secrecy. It wasn't until 1994 that German archaeologist Klaus Schmidt, then working with the German Archaeological Institute, returned to those very coordinates. Standing amid the thorny scrub and scattered rocks, Schmidt saw what others had overlooked: the unmistakable curve of T-shaped pillars just peeking from the earth. Where most had seen random boulders, Schmidt recognized deliberate architecture. Driven by intuition, Schmidt launched excavations that would consume the next 2 decades of his life. What he uncovered shocked not just archaeologists, but anyone who believed they understood human prehistory. Massive limestone pillars, each standing up to 16 foot tall and weighing 10 to 50 tons. These pillars, carved with intricate reliefs of snarling lions, vultures, scorpions, and abstract symbols, formed vast stone circles arranged with geometric precision. The real revelation, however, wasn't just their artistry or scale. It was the age. Radiocarbon dating placed the first phases of Göbekli around 9600 BCE. A time when humanity, according to every school textbook, was still wandering in small nomadic bands, hunting gazelles and gathering wild grain. The pillars of Göbekli were older than Stonehenge by 6,000 years, and the Egyptian pyramids by 7,000. They were the work of a people who had yet to invent pottery, metallurgy, or written language. And yet here they were organizing hundreds, perhaps thousands of laborers to quarry, carve, transport, and erect monumental stones. To scholars, the site posed a question that history had never seriously asked: how could hunter-gatherers, long presumed too scattered and primitive, have orchestrated such a colossal project? As Schmidt sifted through ancient dust, he quietly realized the stakes were greater than academic prestige. This hilltop sanctuary, standing alone in the dawn of the Neolithic, threatened to overturn the foundational story we told about ourselves, that civilization followed farming. What if instead humanity gathered to worship first and only afterward learned to sow and settle? Schmidt rarely raised his voice, but those who knew him recalled a quiet certainty behind his methodical work. Beneath his meticulous notes and scholarly articles lay an idea both thrilling and unsettling. Besip didn't just challenge history. It demanded that we rewrite its first chapter. What Schmidt really saw beneath the archaeological sketches and careful stratigraphy was that Schmidt's team kept encountering an absence louder than any artifact. The site held no evidence of domestic life. No hearths where families gathered for meals. No mud-brick houses, granaries, or storage pits. No tools for harvesting or grinding cultivated grains. The pillars rose from the bedrock not as part of a settlement but as the heart of something else entirely. Göbekli Tepe was a sanctuary without a village, a temple without a town. This discovery pulled Schmidt into a new and dangerous line of thought. The standard narrative accepted for generations held that once humans learned to farm, they could settle, accumulate food surpluses, and then build temples and towns. Religion, by that logic, was a byproduct of stability. Yet here on this lonely hill, hunter-gatherers seem to have built the temple first. The carvings showed skill and cooperation on a scale unimaginable for scattered bands chasing herds. Why? What could have driven these people to labor together without the economic security of agriculture? In private conversations with colleagues, Schmidt floated a radical hypothesis after acknowledging that it was time to tell everything. Perhaps it wasn't the discovery of farming that led people to build monuments. Instead, the desire to gather and perform rituals may have driven people to find ways to stay close, leading eventually to agriculture itself. Perhaps, he mused in his notebooks, belief came first. For Schmidt, this was both exciting and troubling. It suggested that civilization's roots lay not in mere survival, but in shared stories, symbols, and sacred places. As dust rose around the digging teams under the Anatolian sun, Schmidt began to glimpse Göbekli not just as an archaeological site but as a turning point in human consciousness. The moment when our ancestors decided that to be human was to come together and build something greater than themselves. What he and his team had uncovered was more than stone circles. It was the earliest evidence of belief as a force that could change the world.